Have you ever emailed your landlord an applicant's full credit report or forwarded their background without thinking twice? If so, you may have created a huge legal liability without even realizing it. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked parts of leasing a rental property: application processing, applicant privacy, and compliance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, commonly known as the FCRA. Because friends, protecting our clients also means protecting your applicant's personal information. Before the first application is ever submitted, your office should already have a documented application process in place. Questions like these shouldn't be answered after applications start arriving. They should already be a part of your written procedures. So things like, will applications be reviewed in the order they're completed? Or will you evaluate multiple applications at the same time? And if so, what constitutes the best qualified applicant? And how long will applications remain open? And when should applicants expect a decision? What happens if information's missing? So having a documented process creates consistency. It sets clear expectations and helps defend your decisions if they're ever challenged. The fewer subjective decisions you make, the better protected everyone becomes. Application fees should also be explained before they're ever collected. Applicants deserve to know exactly what they're paying for. So Virginia law limits application fees in many situations, so make sure that your fee structure complies with current Virginia law and accurately reflects any third-party screening costs that may be charged. Clear disclosure up front is going to prevent major misunderstandings later down the road. So this next part is where I see many realtors unintentionally create real unnecessary risk. When you're presenting an applicant to a landlord, your job is not to forward every document that you've received to them. The credit report contains sensitive consumer information, and the background reports often contain personal identifying information and other confidential data. So instead of sharing those physical reports, provide your client with a professional screening summary. For example, something like, income has been verified, check, and it's this much money. Credit either met or did not meet your written criteria. Was rental history good or bad? And did the background screening result pass or fail? These overall recommendations should be based on your documented screening standards. Your landlord needs just enough information to understand your recommendation, not every page of the private financial history. Protecting your applicant privacy is part of providing professional property management and being an ethical realtor. Every recommendation that you make should be based on objective and documented screening criteria, not based on intuition, not emotion, and not whether you have a good gut feeling about someone. If your written policy requires 3 times the monthly rent in verifiable income, then every applicant should be measured against that same standard. Your policy establishes a minimum credit requirement, so apply those consistently. Objective decisions are far easier to defend than subjective ones. And if an application is denied or approved with conditions such as a higher security deposit, a qualified guarantor, or another requirement because of information that that was contained in a consumer report, the Fair Credit Reporting Act may require you to send an adverse action notice to that tenant. And that notice informs the applicant which screening company supplied the report and explains that the screening company did not make the decision. It also outlines how the applicant can obtain a copy of the credit report to dispute any inaccurate information. So that, friends, is not just good customer service, it's a real legal requirement. The best screening process is not the one that finds a reason to deny all applicants. It's the one that's fair, it's consistent, and it's well documented and legally compliant. So when you establish written screening criteria, you follow a consistent application process, you protect applicant privacy, and you understand your responsibilities under the FCRA, you're reducing risk for everyone involved. Your landlord receives a professional and objective recommendation. Your applicants receive a fair and transparent process, and you protect what you've worked so hard to earn: your professional reputation and your real estate license. I'm Tiffany Eisenhower with Freedom Property Management. If you're enjoying this series, be sure to subscribe. In our next video, we'll shift from tenant screening to another area where many landlords and realtors unintentionally create liability: properly handling security deposits, doing move-out inspections, and then documenting tenant damages under Virginia laws.